Hello. Welcome back. I'm so excited to be talking with you about having the right ROI mindset, return on investment mindset. And this has been a conversation, and it is a conversation that, if you're selling anything, the people that buy from you often want to know, what's my return on investment? What has been your return on investment with the people that have worked with you? And this question gets people really, really wound up as sellers and also as buyers too. And so it becomes like very emotional, honestly. And I made this content from the perspective of the buyer. When you are the one investing into something, how can you think about it? And I opened that way just so you know. I know as a seller and a buyer, right? Like we all are. I know that you're dealing with stuff too as you invest into programs. So hopefully you can actually like feel both sides of this and take some information as someone who is communicating to your buyers about a return on investment, and as you make investments, how can you be thinking? So hopefully this is a win-win. If this is your first time listening to us, you haven't heard this, but we've talked more lately than ever about the investments we've made into ourselves. And we have, over the course of the 5.5 years of the company and growing, we've probably invested, I wish I had a number, definitely over $1 million, well over $2 million, I'm sure, in the company. Whether that be in building things, renovating things. Just last year, Macy and I both got life coach certified, and that was like $40,000, so these things add up. And we invested in the team. The whole team is doing an amazing training together this year. Anyway, there's just a lot of investments and they add up. And most recently, we've invested in a coach, and that coach was at the time, $350,000. And we haven't talked too much about this yet, but we've since increased that investment to get more out of this year and to expedite our results and to really collapse time and have more time with him. And the reason we did that was because we actually got such a fast return on that investment. We were like, it kind of that tone where someone says, well, if you put $1 in and you get 3 out, then like, of course you're going to put more money in. So that's kind of like how that works. But anyways, all I had to say is through that investment experience, I think Macy too, we became so aware, and I have so much empathy for people who invest. Even though we've made a ton of investments, it was by far the scariest, by far. And so when people have hesitations or, once they've invested into something, they get really scared, like how it's all going to turn out. I just have so much empathy, and seeing how a return can come, and even like being in the quote like waiting process of a return coming. How do I think? How would I want you to think as me being like your coach here? Whether you're listening on the podcast or you're watching on YouTube, how would I want you to think if I'm your coach right now? So I want to share with you 3 things that I honestly just hope set you free and help you feel really good and light about what you've done. I think we've made other content about like how to actually make these decisions. And if I haven't, I need to. But if I have, then this is not what that's about. What this is about is once you've already made that decision, once you have put your chips in and said, you know what, I'm placing a bet here. I'm placing my bet. And your chips are in, now what? So there's really 3 simple things I want to talk about. They're so simple, and you might need to listen to this 3 times just to really let it sink in and absorb into your mind, so that not only will you feel it, but you could communicate these type of principles to people who are investing with you. So the first thing that I would really recommend and encourage you in when it comes to having an ROI mindset is that you having the thought, I'm not investing in my coach. I'm investing in myself through my coach. I'm not investing in my coach. I'm investing in myself through this coach. And I'm using coach as an example because it's a super common investment for people in business to make, because having mentorship and guidance is really, really important. And I think especially if you are a coach, if you coach people, you need a coach. If you're not under a coachship of somebody, but you're coaching others, there's going to be some misalignment there. And you will be such a better coach for having a coach and being coachable. Since working with Myron, Macy and I have both really seen ourselves be coachable and be challenged in being coachable. And, we always kind of, have worked hard, but to really listen to a coach and do what he says, that's being coachable. And it's having that trust in who, you put your chips in with. So that would be a very interesting, shift for you to have too. I wasn't planning on saying that, but it's true. So just when you think that I'm investing in myself through this person, they are like a vessel that I can learn from, that I can have support with, but they are not the reason I will have results. They cannot be. They cannot be. People will always let you down. And that might sound negative, but it's true. Like, you cannot put your faith in people to the point where you're like, oh, I'm definitely going to get this result from them. Like, obviously you want them to, just like you would want to, as you being a provider, you want them to deliver on what they sold you, right? Like, you want them to have the event. You want them to return your messages. You want them to host the calls. Like, if they ghost you completely, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about they deliver on what they said they would, and you kind of got what you signed up for. From that point of view, like, that's what you're paying for you to like go all in on you. And it's such an amazing experience to invest in yourself. When we were first, I don't know if Myron told us this to our face or if this was like a group message. I can't remember, but it changed my life. And he said, I don't need your money. I don't need your money, but you need to write this check. You need to write this check. And when we first put down our deposit to work with him, the deposit was like $175,000, 100% the scariest thing either of us had ever done in business. We've done a lot of scary stuff, and it was like brain changing, because we felt like, wow, we are really putting chips in on future us right now. Just knowing that you can bet on you and trust yourself, have confidence and rely on yourself to do what you say you're going to do, to try new things, to be brave. That is the greatest gift you can give yourself. And if you have a coach that can walk alongside you through this, that's amazing. That is amazing. And think of them like that. Like, they are walking alongside of me, but I am the one really steering the ship here. That will give you so much freedom to do the work, and be thankful for what they do, like what they do provide for you. Yeah, the other comment I just wanted to make about this was, when you have this mindset, you are going to be so much more poised to be in a proactive position rather than a reactive position. So a reactive position is like, having your hands like crossed and like waiting for them to give you advice, waiting for them to encourage you, waiting for them to do something motivating, right? To reach out to you first, to hold you accountable. And quite honestly, if that's what you need, I can't think of very many good coaches who are going to do that. And it's not their job to do that. They're the ones who, when you're playing the game, they look at your form, they look at your body, they look at the way that you're thinking, and they say, hey, are you okay? But you have to be playing the game for a coach to do that. So you being in a proactive position rather than a waiting for them to pick you up off the bench situation ain't gonna work, okay? So do that. Dave Ramsey has a saying that is, what does he say? Pray like it depends on God, work like it depends on you. I would say the same vein is with coaches. Invest. I don't know actually how I would say that, but I think the sentiment is there. Like, work like it depends on you and be so thankful for that coach. Use their wisdom. That's what they're there for. because they're 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of you. And they know things you don't know. And they have answers to questions you don't even know how to ask yet. But when you get into action, that's when it reveals what your questions will be and how you can actually tap into their wisdom. But you have to do that first. Okay. Number 2 is really quick, but it's a small but mighty principle. And that is that there's no set timeline for a return on investment. I know. You know, when people talk about making offers, like in Alex Hormozy's book, $100 million offers, I'm pretty sure he talks about a great way to frame an irresistible offer that is like, if you feel stupid saying no to it, is by putting a time frame on it. Like, you'll, lose weight in 6 weeks, or be able to save this much money in 3 months, or, whatever the promise is. And this is really helpful because our brains work in time. And they understand time that way. And we love that, right? We have something to look forward to. And so when it comes to like making offers, like do whatever you need to do. But I'm just saying, when you're investing in yourself, there's no way to know. There's no way to know. And I think it's best to have there's no timeline mindset, because it could literally happen so fast. Like, we have, an inner circle coaching offer, and people, it's $50,000. And to some people that might sound like a lot of money, but when I look at like, one of our students has made $64,000 in a brand new offer she's never offered, just in the last like 2 months. I'm like, it's a year-long coaching program, and that's happened already in 2 months. It's a brand new offer. It came out of your brain. You just like are doing this for people now. And so things can happen really fast. So what I don't want you to do, what I would never tell you, is it takes a year. It takes 2 years. It takes 5 years. That's not the game. The game is, when I play the game, the scoreboard takes care of itself. The scoreboard takes care of itself. And the timeline is going to be exactly what it needs to be. It's going to be the perfect timeline to teach me what I need to know. I'm going to learn the lessons. Like right now, we got our return on investment with the $350,000 offer, or investment with Myron, in like 2 months or 1 month or something, which was really fast. But like I just told you, we like re-upped our investment to like do more over this year. And we are learning lessons. I'm like, oh, I want this to happen faster, but there's so much I need to get good at. I'm at the bottom of a brand new level, and it's painful. It's painful. I wish I could just skip this part. I wish I was journaling and I said, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the work. But guess what? The work is what makes you so strong. And so there is no timeline. The timeline is how good and how fast can you get good? How good can you get? How fast can you get good? Sometimes it's going to feel like every day is 5 days when you're doing the thing you don't want to do. And you can either like just put your head down and say, I get it, self. I get it. You don't want to do it. This is what makes you who you're meant to be. And that timeline is going to be perfect. It could happen faster than you think. It could take longer than you think. I don't know. Which is why I'm telling you to say, there is no timeline, baby. Just talk to yourself. Okay? Cool? Well, I want to say one more thing. The other thing about this is that, I've seen a lot of trauma in people's eyes after they've had a coach. They're like disappointed and everything. That wasn't worth the money, And, I just don't subscribe to thinking like that or talking like that, because when like I told you, we've invested in a lot of stuff. And one of them was, in 2020, we invested in like a $25,000 coach, and like all we got was phone calls. That's it. Like, you just only talk to him on the phone. It was wild. And, it was right when COVID happened, and we were really struggling with something, like a webinar didn't pan out, or, the world was kind of different in April of 2020, and we just like needed help. And like one conversation with him, I actually think our time with him was over, but he reached out to check on us or something. I don't know. And the one comment he made helped us turn it around, turned our mindset around, and we still carry that same advice with us today. I wish I could remember exactly what he said. But I think what he said at the time was like, this is a pandemic. Like, it was just announced a pandemic. People need a lifeboat. Like, they need something, a buoy to hold on to. And like, you need to be that buoy for them. And so in that moment, it was like, we weren't victims anymore. We needed to help like save people in their like mental distress in their business. We were kind of like business buoys for people. So that was actually the tip. That's for free. You're welcome. Okay. So the third mindset shift, I would say, is to expect to get a return on your investment, period. Expect to get a return, period. Like, it is not an option. Like, this is who I am, people. I get returns on investment. When I work hard, I get something in return. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I get a return. And when you carry that mindset, it changes everything. If you cannot carry that mindset, if you feel resistance to when I say that, and you say, oh, but they didn't do this for me. Oh, but they didn't, you're not taking responsibility for the fact that you, in your mind, it's the same principle. It's like, I am the kind of person who, while I'm in the waiting game, which I don't even like calling it the waiting game at all, but I just said that. While I'm in the work, I expect to win. I just do. The scoreboard will take care of itself. Will I win this game? Will I win this battle? I don't know. But I expect to win ultimately before I see, you know? And that's how you can get through like hard moments, hard days, hard seasons. And trust me, we all have them. We really, really do. But winners always expect to win in advance. So what I know about you is that you're a winner. What I know about you is that you want to win, that you want to help people in the process of you winning. So go be the best coach you can. Go be the best service provider you can. And when you're making a buying decision, be the best buyer that you can, because really great buyers are going to make really great coaches. And people buy from people who are great buyers. Like, this all just goes together. So if you struggle with this mindset, it's okay. Work on it. Listen to it again. Get coaching on it. But please know that this is an area for growth. And one of the biggest things is that you can just know that you're someone that you can trust investing in yourself, that you are someone worth putting the chips in on. I believe in you. I'm so excited for you. And I thank you for watching this, listening to it. You can go ahead and subscribe if you're on YouTube, or leave a comment if you're on the podcast. We're so thankful for this. And as always, if you have questions, just message us. We love to hear from you. Have a great, great day, Sales Girl.